In this training video, we're going to look at the use of advanced filters and the effectiveness of advanced filters. So what I'm trying to do in the example in the blue block area, I'm trying to look for sales for the UK that's less than 50,000 or USA sales greater than 200,000. Now, if you use the basic filter to try and do this, so what people would normally do is go to the country and they say, okay, I'm going to go for UK, USA. Now they're going to try and say, right, now I'm going to go for units sold. And they're either going to start clicking through these numbers down the bottom here, which might bring in inaccuracy and errors, or they're going to go through the greater than or equal to find out the answers they want. Well, in this case, what most people would do would go through the number filters. And if you're looking at the scenario here where I've got UK less than 50,000, so I can see less than 50,000, there's less than there, and I can see greater than is also in the list. But I can only choose one or the other. So if I were to say, for example, less than, and I went with that example, and I said less than 50,000, well, that's now going to ignore all the USA sales which are greater than 200,000. So in this case, the basic standard filter is not going to help you with this filter. So I'm going to cancel this to show that we can't at present use the basic filter to get us around this scenario. Now this is where the advanced filter comes in. So I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to take off the basic filter. So I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to remove the filter. Now the advanced filter, you need a couple of blank rows, and you need to copy the headings of your data in your filter to an area within Excel. So I tend to put it to the top of Excel. That's why I have my blank rows and my headings copied. You could put it to the bottom of your data. You could put it into a new sheet. You can position it where you want to position it. Now in this example, I'm going to say, okay, well, I need to write now the test of what I'm trying to achieve. So the country, and at the top from the A1 to D8, this is called your criteria. So this is where now you can write the criteria. So everything now below the criteria happens to be my actual filtering list. So I'm going to say in my criteria, the country for my example is UK. So it can be lowercase, can be sentence case, can be uppercase, as long as the spelling's right. And the UK has to be less than, so arrow to the left, and less than 50,000. So just type in 50,000 in this example. And you'll see I'm not putting any currency in, I'm just typing the pure value. Now that looks at UK, and UK has to be less than 50,000. Well, the next line down is an or. So that can be USA greater than 200,000. So in effect now I've written the criteria for the area that I've got in blue now, which I've now asked to look at. So with the criteria written, to start the advanced filter off, you click anywhere in your data. So the data now is from A9 to D9 down. So I've just clicked, happen to be in this case, I happen to be in B17. Now on the data tab, you'll see sort and filter section of the ribbon. There's an advanced option, and I click advanced. Now straight away it's picked up the list range. Now the list range is the data. Now, if you ever lose the list range, you need to reset it yourself. So sometimes people click around and the list range loses itself, so you'd have to re-highlight it yourself, including the headings. Now it's asking you, where's your criteria range? So the criteria range is at the top in my example. So that's going from A1 to D3, so you must include the headings. So A1 to D3, so that's my criteria. You might say, well, why have I got lots of blanks here? Well, this is to ask more of a complex criteria if I wanted to. So if I wanted to, I could ask different, more and more complicated criteria. So that's why you've got a couple of blank areas there. So in this case, we've got the criteria set. We've got the data set, and you only highlight in the criteria where there's information. So in this example, A1 to D3. And now it gives you the choice. Do you want to filter in place? So that means just look at the data and filter the data itself, or do you want to copy to another location? So we'll have a look at both examples. We'll first filter in place. So now click OK. And that gives me a record of 27 of 106 have found this criteria. So if we do a quick spot check, the UK's, if you look at the figures, they're all less than 50,000. Look at the USA's, they're big figures and they're all greater than 200,000. So there's a quick spot check on that. Now if I wanted to, I could filter to another location. So I'm going to clear that filter. And I'm now going to repeat the process. Advanced again. Because I've just set the criteria, I'm going to leave the criteria as it is. So I know I've set it correctly. I haven't changed anything. I'm going to copy to another location. In this case, I'm going to copy to cell L1. And I'm going to click OK. So that now gives me the filter in a different area. Now I'm going to check that should be 27 because I saw 27 earlier on. So I'm going to do an auto sum just under the copied filter. And I'm going to go straight to the auto sum and I'm going to do a count. And if that means 27, I know it's equals, doesn't matter where I've done it, 27 is the answer either in place or when it's copied to another location. So this completes an example of advanced filtering. Very, very useful for when you're asking more complex criteria that a single filter and a simple filter cannot cope with. So this is where the advanced filter comes in, and the more you use it, the more useful this can become in analyzing information for any business. What you might want to do when you're looking at this kind of thing is test the criteria to different levels so you can go further and further and further. But if you are going to do that, what I recommend you do is make sure you can go onto your data tab and sort the data to prove to yourself that the answer is correct. But for this example, this completes advanced filtering for sales less than 50,000 for the UK or sales greater than 200,000 for the USA.